bring in Captain Sunshine, maybe some rays on the Jets here. Pete Prisco checking in this AM. But realistically, how bad was this loss for the Jets based on what we've seen this season compared to yesterday?
There's not a person alive who can throw sunshine onto that crap that they put on the field on Sunday. Nobody. I mean, it was so bad. Watching it was horrible. I mean, it was just a terrible show to watch. The offense is awful. I mean, you saw what they did. They couldn't do anything on offense. Zach Wilson's a disaster. And then after the game, I mean, look, he's not taking accountability for what he did. I think this is one of those situations. By the way, Robert Saleh and Brant Boyer, special teams coach, should have a chat with the punter. If they didn't tell him to kick it out of bounds, they made a major coaching mistake. If they did tell him to kick it out of bounds, the guy should be fined for not listening to him. That's a terrible decision. But this is a team offensively so limited in what they can do. If you can't run the ball and Breece Hall isn't there anymore, you have major problems because Zach Wilson is struggling in a big way. And the Jets, when you look at them, are they a good team? No. Are they a tough physical team? Yes. Are they good on defense? You bet. But if you can't move the ball on offense, you're not going to the playoffs.
Yeah, and if you look at this and that press conference and when he comes out and says no, and then you're talking, the head coach comes out and says the offense played like dog poo, as you put it, and they only have 2 yards, and he had, 9 completions for only 77 yards as an NFL quarterback? Are you kidding me? But he must have missed all the leadership classes in 101 at BYU because regardless if you're good or you're bad, no matter how you play, if you're the quarterback, you take responsibility for that. And now you may have lost that locker room by the way you answered that question with a simple no.
Hey, by the way, I did work with somebody on Sunday on the set Sunday morning who actually predicted that Zach Wilson and the Jets offense would play well in this game. You know who that was? Who was that, Rick?
Well, he didn't throw 3 interceptions this game. We're taking it bits at a time.
Who was
so
that guy?
I did see
it was you.
It was it.
All right,
it was you. It was Rick. Rick thought the Jets would play well on offense.
I'd rather listen to Brandon and Brandon Bagwagon and highlights than listen to Pete talk to me about my prediction.
Your time to shine, buddy. Wow.
That's a lot of Jets talk. We've piled on them enough. So let's get to some more folks who struggle. Pete, what's the rest of your losers?
Well, I mean, when you look at the losers on Sunday, those are actually Rick's losers.
Those are my losers.
I got a whole. Yeah, go ahead, go through your losers because you're a loser on Sunday.
Okay, I'm the Baker Mayfield of this group right now. The Panthers defense did a phenomenal job holding Baltimore in check and Lamar Jackson in check the whole day. But Baker Mayfield is not the answer, and I give credit to Steve Wilks because they're playing their tails off, and I hope he gets an opportunity to be the head coach there. They just need to get a franchise quarterback, and you can't turn the ball over 3 times in the fourth quarter when it's that tight a game. And my other loser, besides Zach Wilson, was the Denver Broncos. No matter who's calling the plays for the Denver Broncos, the results are the same. So is it the coaching or is it the quarterback? And when you watch Russell Wilson and the way he's playing right now, he's holding the ball in the pocket. He can't get through his progressions. He's not as athletic as he was 5 years ago to make plays with his feet. They've lost 3 games in overtime, close games in overtime. So I'm going with the Denver Broncos as my losers.
And these are my losers when you take a look at them. The Minnesota Vikings, they're 8-2 and they have a negative point differential. I mean, come on, are they frauds or what? Think about that. There's only one other team since the merger that's had a negative point differential. It's been 8-2. It was the 87 Chargers. They're not a good team. They were terrible on Sunday. The Giants, I mean, my gosh, you lose at home to the Lions. And here's the other thing. They lost a bunch of players. Adoree Jackson, their number 1 corner, Wan'Dale Robinson, their young receiver. Both are probably gone for the season with knee injuries. And then can you imagine? You pony up for 4 tickets, $600. You got to park, it's $50. You got to eat and drink, it's probably another $500. Next thing you know, you're out of pocket for $1,000, and you had to sit there and watch a 3-3 game until a punt return. My gosh, score some points, please.
Yeah, on top of that, Pete, it's probably cold out there, so you froze for about 4 hours waiting for a touchdown the last 26 seconds of the game there. Not ideal.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Don't worry.
What,
Yeah.
They sent offensive football back, 40 years. That's how bad that was.
Pete's sending a refund check to everybody that had to go through that misery and watch that game yesterday.
On both sides?
On both sides, yeah.
A lot of money, Pete. All right, how about your winners here? Maybe with Commander Heineke. Can't believe I'm saying it, but seems like he's your top dog.
Yeah, well, he's not playing great. He's managing the game. If you look that up in the dictionary, game manager, his picture would be there. But their defense is playing great. And their defense has come alive. It's been a major problem for the opposition. This guy's making plays. Heineke's making enough plays. He's got some good weapons down the field, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and guys like that. And so they can run the ball with Brian Robinson, although I missed my prop yesterday that I picked him to go over 63, just missed it. But this is a team that's getting better on the defensive side of the ball. That's why they're on a little bit of a run, and their schedule's been favorable, and they've taken advantage of that. The Patriots defense, it's an amazing story. Bill Belichick is the wizard of wizards. I said before the season, if he got this team to the postseason, it'd be his greatest coaching job. Well, they're probably going to get there, or at least they have a legitimate shot because of that defense. They're number 2 in the league now. Matt Judon, 13 sacks on the season. He's done a magnificent job with that defense. And then the Bills. After going through everything they did, losing that game the way they did against the Vikings, having to, dig themselves out from underneath the snow pile, travel to Detroit, and they started to look like the Bills again. That's the most important thing. They started to look like the Bills the way they played on offense. And I said this on the pregame show on Sunday, Rick. I said that was to their advantage to have that game move to Detroit. And you know what? It played out that way, just like I said it would.
Pete, do you want me to go through the logistics again like I did yesterday about moving a game in a snow situation?
No. It was better for their offense. It's a faster track.
No logistics there, but Rick, we can get your winners. The Eagles come back after being down double digits to win.
Yeah, no, it was great. And to see Philadelphia now, their offense isn't the same, I don't believe, without Goddard there. But when the Eagles didn't play well on Monday night, they go on the road versus a scrappy Indianapolis team. Jalen Hurts leads them to a comeback win in the fourth quarter, and he did it both with his arm and with his legs. So that tells you what type of character this team has. And I'm sorry, Brandon, they're still going to beat the Dallas Cowboys. But this is a gritty football team, the way they play on defense. And the other thing that was impressive, after that first series, for them to shut down Jonathan Taylor, when they signed Linville Joseph, they signed Dominican Sue. Those guys end up making a major part of it. The Lions defense, they've won 3 games in a row, 2 games in a row on the road because of the way their defense is playing. And that was a problem earlier in the season. And Aiden Hutchinson and Joseph, who both have been a major part of that turnaround for the defense. And finally, what we talked about, Tony Pollard. They should be thrown in jail if they don't give him more carries than Ezekiel Elliott.
I mean, they both got 15.
Oh, come on.
You got to share.
Who are you going to give the ball to?
Well, I'm biased because Zeke's on my fantasy team. So I kind of want Zeke to get a few more carries. I'm just saying. Those 2
They give it to him in the goal line. He's like
Hey,
Williams for
I'll
Detroit.
take the points. Pete knows what I'm talking about. I take the points whenever I get them.
Hey, by the way, it's interesting that the Lions are in that winners because I think somebody related to Rick works for the Lions, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, that's an easy one for him.
Oh, come on.
Talking about bias, so we've been calling me out the whole show. Thank you, Pete.
3 wins in a row. They deserve some love. They're making a run, Pete. I'm telling you, they're making a run.
Do you have a relative that works for that team, yes or no?
They're making a run.
Famous answer.
The truth will come out eventually. Pete, thanks for kicking it with us. Rick, in studio with us. We appreciate it. One more game to get to tonight. Cardinals and the 49ers, they're playing game Mexico City. The Niners practice in Colorado this week to prepare for the elevations. Looking like Colt McCoy will start. Kyler Murray still dealing with his hamstring injury. Cliff Kingsbury trying to get some sort of magic going with his 49ers. Christian McCaffrey has been mighty good since being traded over to San Francisco, leading the Panthers. That one in Mexico City tonight.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.